Hello. Okay, we have a game. This is game 31. And my opponent only has a provisional rating. Oof, joined 26 hours ago? Okay. Well, everybody's gotta start somewhere. Let's play the Caro-Kann. I just crossed 2300. I hope my opponent isn't a wunderkind whose real rating is 2800. I'm sorry, Kira is eating, so you may hear some chewing noises from the dog. Why spend time on d4? Also, Lucia has a cold, so you may hear her coughing and sneezing. Plays the exchange, alright. Let's see. h3 or bishop f4. Plays h3. Okay, let's go g6. The last game was a really interesting Nimzo Indian. In which I didn't mess up the endgame in time trouble. Okay, normally I will play bishop f5 immediately, so I will do that here too. Now white can play bishop e2, castles, bishop f5. I guess those are the main moves. My opponent took, and now we have this interesting pawn structure where the g file is semi-open, which means that white's king is never really gonna be safe on the king side. Okay, let's go e6, defend that pawn. This is fairly standard so far. I have a very nice square on e4. That's the upside of taking with the f-pawn. The downside is, of course, well, I'm not going to be castling kingside anytime soon. Okay, let's go bishop e7, avoiding the spin. The bishop doesn't belong on g7 anyway, even though I can put it on g7. Okay, now we start thinking. Candidate moves. Rook g8, knight e4, queen c7, queen b6. If queen b6, my opponent may be able to go knight b3. I like queen c7 a lot because then on castle's queen side I will have tricks with knight b4 and knight d4. And I would also like to castle queen side at some point. But what if my opponent goes rook c1? That could be kind of scary. I think I'll go queen c7 anyway, because that prevents knight e5 in all variations and sets up this trick. Wow, takes? Okay. This is a very strange decision, giving up this bishop. Because now I feel that the dark squares are very secure, and also if the knight moves away from f3 and my opponent castles queenside, there is bishop takes d4 or knight takes d4. So I'm not too sure about this decision. And my bishop is completely dominating the knight on f3. So maybe my opponent really does go knight b3, knight c5. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do here with white. Castle's queenside is always risky because there's a pawn on c3. If the pawn was on c2, then it's an easy decision. Also, my queen has access to f4 for what it's worth. Very hard to suggest a move. Queen c2 fails to knight d4. Not that there's any point to queen c2, but still. Well, actually it doesn't. Oh, I have to play bishop d4. Knight d4 loses to knight d4, bishop d4, queen a4 check, and then the bishop's hanging. So if for some reason queen c2, then I play bishop takes d4. Wow, okay. That's a very curious move. So castle's queenside. If b4, then king b8. If then b5, I can always go knight a5. If castle's queenside c4, well then d4 is hanging after I take. So I think I do castle queenside. I couldn't think of a safer square for my king, so I think this makes sense. But I definitely do have to play king b8 quickly. Rook e1? What? What's the point of that? Why would you play rook e1? Very strange. I'll just go king b8 quickly. I don't understand rook e1 at all. At all. What's the point of rook e1? Okay. Okay. So, if the king crosses to the c file, I can take on d4. And that's great. If hard to suggest a plan for me. My opponent's probably gonna go knight b3. Okay, let's just develop the rook. I want to see what my opponent does. And then I will try to undermine the g-pawn with h5, h4. That seems like a sensible plan. I want to create a weakness here. Should I set up rook c8 for knight d4? I don't think my rook is useful on d8 anyway, so we may as well threaten knight d4. If my opponent goes back with queen d3, I may actually be able to play knight b4 anyway. Knight b4, c b4, queen c1, king e2, no, not really. Okay. So what's wrong with f4? f4 threatening to take on g3. If takes, queen takes. If g4 I take. If rook g1 I take. Okay, I'm definitely playing f4. That way my rook is first in line to attack down the c file. And I'm getting rid of my doubled pawn, and I'm ruining my opponent's queenside structure. I feel like I have a good position. I think my king is safer than my opponent's king. Simply because of this tactic constantly hanging on d4. Well, that's a free pawn. I mean, so I'm just gonna take. And that's gonna be a free pawn with tempo on the knight. Am I missing something? No. Rook takes or queen takes? If queen takes, then there may be rook f1 and my bishop's hanging, but there's rook f1 anyway. Let's just make sure knight c5 isn't playable. Okay, rook takes. I want to keep my queen on this. If rook f1, I may actually be able to take. No, the queen defends d4. Stop saying nonsense. On rook f1, maybe I even go bishop e7 to prevent knight c5. Because my opponent's only threat is knight c5 and knight here with the queen on b5. Are there no tricks with bishop d4 or knight d4? What if I go rook d3? Threatening d4 once again. Oh, there has to be something here. There has to be something here. Rook d3, probably king c2. There must be something. Rook d3, king c2. Rook c3, bc3, queen c3. King d1, I see no mate. King b1, I see no mate. And rook d3, king c2, rook d4, knight d4. Knight d4 check. I'm not too convinced, so maybe I don't sacrifice anything. Maybe I can just play it slowly. So if I go rook g2 and my opponent plays rook f1, then bishop g5. I really don't want to move my bishop away from f6. Okay, I'm playing rook g2. I couldn't see any sacrifices. I don't see sacrifices, so this seems like an improvement to me. And I may have the option to go queen g3 followed by queen d3. Okay. Now, are there still no tactics? If I go queen f4, are there really no tactics still? This is incredible. Come on. Okay, my queen technically isn't necessary for the pin. So how about queen g3 or queen f4? Or maybe even bishop g5. Let's go bishop g5 to prevent knight c5. And then if rook g1, I have queen g3. Now the king cannot move because I just take the knight. And knight d4 is still in the air, but I cannot make it work. So if bishop takes, knight takes is forced, and then queen f4. My opponent has to play rook d1, because if queen c2 I have knight d4. So bishop takes, knight takes, queen f4, rook d1. And what next? Maybe I can just wait with the exchange. Maybe I can play bishop h6 and queen f4. Yeah, I don't want to give up this bishop. I'm not gonna take on d2 yet. There's no reason to. This pin is too annoying. I couldn't find a direct win with takes, knight takes, queen f4, because there's rook d1. Queen g3 seems almost winning. Queen g3, rook g2, queen e1, king c2, only move. Then at least I can take on h4. Yeah, I'm playing queen g3. I feel like I haven't made any mistakes yet. Maybe there was something stronger, maybe there were some sacrifices on d4, but I couldn't see them. Wait, this just loses to queen h7. Am I missing something? Also, I can just take on h4, because the f7 pawn is immune, because the rook's hanging. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. I can just take. The rook on e1 is hanging. So now I'm just 2 pawns up. I mean, I'll still play queen g3. You just don't have your h-pawn. Not much has changed, except white's h-pawn is gone. Okay. Let's take. And now I think I start pushing my pawn. Could there be something wrong with that? So knight takes, if knight takes, so sorry, bishop takes, if knight takes, then d4 isn't as defended. So I have queen e3. If rook takes, I have queen e4 check. Yeah, I'm taking that. It's so odd that knight d4 never worked. It's incredible. Maybe it did. Maybe I missed something, but... Okay, now... Do I even want to go queen e4? Shouldn't I just start pushing my pawn? I think I do want to go queen e4 because that will end up pinning the rook if king d1, king c1. And if king d1, I can drive the king away. After knight c5, I can play queen g1, queen b1 check. Okay, now on knight c5, I can just pin the rook, but maybe I play rook c7 first. No, let's do this. So now the rook is pinned, and if knight c5, I can take on d4, I think. Knight c5, knight d4. If cd4, no, I cannot. Stupid. No, why did I think I could take? Why did I think I could take? So knight d4, cd4. b6. Knight d4, cd4, b6 seems to be wide open. So my opponent wants to play queen somewhere, and then yeah, okay, I'm not happy. I shouldn't have allowed knight c5. I thought I had knight d4. But maybe I can go... Maybe I can go e5. e5, knight d7 check. King h8, king a8. e5, queen b5. Rook c7, knight... Oof, a6. That's no good. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, so I'm playing king a8. I don't want to risk running into any weird things after queen b5 and knight a6. I definitely made this too complicated. Yeah, this makes sense. I didn't see that. Okay, so I'm guessing rook c7 is the only move that prevents a perpetual and doesn't lose the exchange. So rook c7, knight b6, check, king b8. Seems okay. There's no queen a5. On queen a3, I'll have to defend all the dark squares. But I can do that with queen g1 check, probably. Yeah, I can still hang mate here. I'm not too happy. Way too complicated. This shouldn't have been as complicated. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna hang mate, hopefully. So how about f6 now? On knight takes, I have rook takes, and my position is safe. I don't think there are any other tricks. I hope not. There's still queen a3 afterwards, but I can cover with, I don't know, queen g1, queen g8. Or even just a6. Okay. So either queen g1, queen g8, or a6. So queen g1 check, let's say rook d1, queen g8, queen e7. I can always play f5 to save my pawn. Or Do I play a6 and allow queen f8 check? No, I don't want to lose the pawn. I'm not going to lose the pawn. I'm sorry, my neighbor started drilling something again. Oh, do you have to do that now? I'm sorry if you can hear the noise. Very annoying, but what can you do? Now I feel like I'm safe. This is a safe extra pawn. I'm controlling the G file. Sorry, extra 2 pawns. I'm controlling the G file. I'm defending my E pawn. Please stop drilling. Ah. Okay, I'm sorry for the noise, but I think I can give up the pawn. So a6, rook h5, queen g2 check. If the king steps to d1, I win the rook. So the king must go to... not to d3 because of queen f3 check and I win the rook. So either b3, which doesn't work because of rook b6, or back to the corner. Yeah, this works. My opponent cannot take the pawn on h5. Will you stop, please? I'm sorry for this. They're doing construction in the apartment below. They have been for more than a year now. It's incredibly frustrating. And I never know when they're gonna start. It was silent for a while now and then, yeah, now. Hopefully it stops soon. Okay, smart decision by my opponent, not blundering mate. But now we're back. Oh no, I don't want to give up. Wait, do I want to trade queens? I do have a passed pawn, but I wonder if that's enough or not. It may not be enough. So if queen g4, queen h5, queen e4 check. Oh no, I can just take on d4. What am I saying? Queen g4, if queen h5, I take on d4. Stupid, yeah. And if my opponent takes, then I take with the h pawn and I'm still up 2 pawns. Oh, I hate this sound and I'm down to a minute. No! I'm not falling below 2300 again, despite the drilling. No, my opponent can take my queen e8 check and take the rook. No, my god, queen e8 check and take the rook. No, why did I do that? I'm losing, yeah, I'm just losing. Oh no, he cannot do that because I check on e4. Ugh. Queen e8 check, king a7, queen c6, queen e4 check. Okay, saved by luck. Ugh. Almost. I have queen e4 check. Oh my god, I was so lucky. I didn't even see queen e8 beforehand. I blame the drilling. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. So... I'm trying to get the king to come out to b3. But I'm struggling to do that. I don't think I'm getting mated. I think I'm fine. All I know is that the white king mustn't go to b3. I'm gonna try to get some additional time on the clock. So if I play queen d6, after queen a8, there are no more checks. So queen d6, queen a8, king b6. If rook h7, I have rook c7. And I want to go d4. It's very easy to lose a major piece endgame, but at least this way there's no checks on d8. So there is one check. Also, oh, there may be rook b8. Queen a8, king b6, rook b8, I have rook c7. So I think we're safe. Will you please stop this torture? I'm sorry about this. I don't know how loud it will be on the video, but... my king seems safe. If g5, I think I'm gonna mate my opponent. I don't think there will be many sensible defenses. Also, I may just take twice. Sorry for not talking, I'm a bit too stressed. Are there any tricks even? I don't see any tricks. Well, maybe there's h5 check. Wait a minute. hg, h5, king. Sorry, ab, stupid. ab, a5, king c6, queen e8, king here, check. No, I don't see any tricks. Please stop. Oh my god, I cannot think at all. Do I go king b5 or king c6? I don't know. I have no idea what was better, but this seems good enough. There's only one check I can see, and it fails to queen c6. Okay, it finally stopped. Let me finish this game. Now let's go on the offensive. This has to be mate. I'm not good enough to see it immediately, but there has to be checkmate here. It's king versus queen and rook. Does my opponent have any checks? Yes. One check, which we have to prevent. I couldn't allow queen e8 check. And I also want to play queen b3. It started again. This has gotta be mate. I mean, there's no way this isn't mate. This sound is so annoying that I'm completely freaking out. I cannot think at all. Okay, but this is mate. Now I see mate. Okay. Ugh, okay. I just have to reverse the positioning of my queen and rook. Yes. Okay. Oh, it still isn't stopping. I don't even want to analyze the game now. If you're like me and you think practicing against the engine is boring because it either crushes you or plays like an idiot, try playing against Noctie. Noctie is a human-like AI that's going to adapt to your strength, is going to play like a human, try to trick you like a human, and challenge you on your own level. The first thing you can do is, of course, assess your rating, and you can play a rating test against Noctie. Yeah, the only move is g4 and then queen f4 mate. Yeah. Good. Yes! 2557! Come on! It's going to tell you your strength, but there are many more features. The first thing is when you play Noctie, you get instant feedback, and all of your moves will get sort of color coded. Noctie will immediately tell you if you made a mistake. That way you can ask Noctie to see where you went wrong. You can play games in openings you're trying to learn, so you can import any repertoire you want and play Noctie in that specific opening. Just go to repertoires. I've imported the Hillbilly when I was doing the video on the Hillbilly, but you can obviously create any repertoire. Just paste the PGN, and if you, for example, play the London system, you can play the London system against Noctie. Flashcards are an excellent tool, and I've spoken to Samuel, the owner and inventor of Noctie. He's going to make them even better. Flashcards are basically the mistakes you made in your games. Noctie is going to make you pay attention to them, and in the future they're going to be grouped according to theme, so it's going to be even easier to navigate your mistakes. One of my favorite features, if not my favorite one, and the one I use the most, is themes. So you can play Noctie in any specific position you choose. So if you go to your themes, you can see that I've made quite a few. So let's say you want to play out this position. This is a position from Spassky's game where he triangulated perfectly. If you're trying to practice something, you can create a new team. Just add an FEN or a PGN and play it out against Noctie. That way, if you have an endgame you would like to practice, you don't have to find an actual human to play against, nor will you have to play against a 2800 engine or against a 500 engine human. If you would like to check Noctie out, you can follow the link in the description, and if you would like to get a 64% discount, use the code HANGING Pawns. Thank you very much for this. Thank you, Noctie, for sponsoring the video, and let's get back. Yes! Okay, 2306. Why do I only get 4 points for a win? Let's analyze. Okay, supporting you all the way from the Kruger Park in South Africa. Nice! Hello, Free Will. Yes, I am over 2300. So let's see. Can you guys see the engine analysis? Okay, I guess you should be able to see it. So let's start here. This is still theory. And as I said, castle, bishop e2, or bishop takes f5, gf5. I don't know queen d3, but okay. I'm guessing e6 is okay, so let's enable the engine and let's turn it on. Let me just see if you guys can see this now. Yes, you should be able to see it. So, okay, bishop g5, best move. Wait, bishop f6 is the move? Knight e4 best, rook g8, queen c7 is okay. Bishop f6 was best, that's very strange. Castles, I know that the engine... Shut up! And... I can't think. I know that the engine sometimes castles into this, but if castles, then there's rook g8 and knight e7, knight g6, f4. Okay, castles queenside, good. King b8, h5. Okay, I played it to move later, but h5 to break up these pawns is standard. I played rook c8, setting up this trick. a6. Why would I play a6? Why would I play king a8? f4 isn't good. Wait, doesn't g4 just lose a pawn? Okay, so don't I have rook g7? Okay. I should have gone... sorry, no, not knight b3. On f4, my opponent should have taken. And then here. And they played knight b3, so that just gives up a pawn. Taking with the queen was better, but okay. Okay. Bishop g5 is okay. Oh, I had a win. I had a win. How? Okay. So let's say takes. takes, queen here, rook d1. How do I win? Oh, knight d4 still works. Oh, I saw everything and then I saw nothing. And if queen d1, still knight d4. Okay, I played bishop h6. Queen g3, but this is still winning. Takes, queen back to g3, still winning. Takes, bishop takes is correct. Queen e4 is correct. Okay, now, have I gone wrong? Okay, king a8 is bad, but it's not too bad. Knight here, I played f6. The correct move was a6, takes, takes. Here, okay, queen g1. Ah, okay, it's check. I was trying to understand why the engine hung mate in 1 with queen f8. Okay. Okay, apparently it was equal after queen h4. I don't understand why. So queen h4, queen h8. Wait a minute. Queen h4, queen h8. Yeah, now I have no checks. Rook h2. Okay, here, here. The line I was thinking is that if my opponent takes, then I go here and it should be over, because the king and rook are bound to be lined up on one of these. And if king b3, then rook b6 is going to lead to mate. And then my opponent played queen h4, and then here, here. And I was afraid that I lost the game, because if the king was, let's say, on c1, then I am losing, because my opponent just takes the rook. But now if they take the rook, I throw in this check, which I saw after I'd already taken on d4, which isn't good. Okay, let's just see if I was ever in any trouble. Okay, I should not have played h5. Why not? Let's say d4, h5, takes. Apparently there's nothing here. Okay, sorry, a5. I keep saying h5. Here, here, takes, takes. King c6 is also okay. Mate in 8. Okay, I got scared of queen check on e8, so... But apparently that's not scary. Yeah, now it has mate. Okay. Oh, the drilling ruined the game. But anyway, thank you for watching. We won 2 in a row, over 2300. Thank you. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.